ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Black Waves. I'm your DMGM storyteller, whichever you would like to call me, Forgotten Dreams, and I am tongue twister, and I am joined by a host of lovely people. Ellen will not be providing camera, at least for now, because she is having a fun time at the house. But we have Ellen.
Hello, I'm Ellen. I play Senna Thunderhall. She is okay. She is a half elf bard slash cleric.
All right. Next up, we have Wade.
I'm Wade. I'm playing Desh the Kobold. He is a party ranger with his best buddy Nash, his giant war beast.
Fantastic. And last but not least, we have Cyber Mama.
Hey, I'm Cyber Mama. I play Sasha Oak River, and she is a failing swashbuckler rogue.
Fantastic. All right. So, who would like to do the brief recap of last time on the Black Waves?
We fought on the boat. We survived the fight on the boat.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And for those of you who heard Wade's mic cutting out there, he said, we got on a boat, we fought on the boat, we survived on the boat. Pretty much. Wade will occasionally be having not the best of the mic times because he's currently using, what was it, PS4 or PS3 mic?
It's a wired mic I use for my PS4. The other mic I use for my PC is currently charging, so maybe halfway through the session, I'll get my regular mic back.
Oh. All right, but bringing us back to the scene, you all stand on the main deck of the boat, surrounded by a number of scaly, lizard-like bodies, many of them sporting gills, others looking like they have leather sacks around their face. A city of lights was spotted below, possibly indicating that you passed a aquatic civilization. And a large crustacean is a giant pile of ash on the center of the ship. And you've recently been told by the captain that you'll be traveling within the Sharkfang territory after this. So, what would you all like to do as you stand there on the deck?
I want to examine the weapons of the scaly fish people. Because some of them were stabbing people, getting them to lock up and joint-wise, so Desh might want to gather those and see what's causing that poison.
Okay, so go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Ugh,
We already have
brain
them.
power.
Yeah, you have them. It's just an investigation check. Or a nature check, actually, could serve, if that's higher.
No, they're both, again, nature's intelligence for some reason. So they're both the exact same.
All right. With a 7, you do see that many of these weapons are constantly dripping with some sort of ichor that's dark and flows from a number of about 6 tiny holes that go down the length of the sharpened end of either a blade or the points of the trident for various for these various different creatures. And you can see. Yeah, with a 7, yeah, that's about all you can gather.
I tried.
I'm going to finish helping throw the bodies overboard and help with some of the cleanup crew. And then once we're done, I'm gonna go back down to my quarters, and hopefully, I don't know whether or not it's a bath or a shower or what we've got going on there, but
None of the
get
above. It's a boat.
myself really clean as possible.
There is not a bath or a shower available to you. If you're looking to get
Oh.
clean, you're gonna have to jump in the water.
Tie yourself to a rope and just reach hold behind the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay, so is that literally really their only method of getting us water?
Looks like it. Most of the pots and pans on the ship, in particular the large pot that would be about the size one could reasonably jump into to use as a bath, is currently stashed in the kitchen and looks to have a large stew about halfway done.
We can't go spending our fresh water bathing.
I don't necessarily have to have fresh water, but we're all covered in blood and gore. The deck is all covered in blood and gore. Is
Yeah,
there
the deck.
no I mean, I guess I'll just ask the crewman: is how are we expected to get clean and get all this off the deck?
Well, as you're asking that, you can see a couple of the crewmen going over to the sides of either side of the ship and grabbing some buckets off of the posts that they normally tie the ropes for the sails to. When they take the buckets, you can see they already have ropes tied to them, and they begin simply dipping the buckets down into the water below, bringing them up, and then splashing them across the deck, while two of the sailors go about with large mops.
So
All
open the
right,
deck.
I'm going to get in an area where buckets are and get myself clean before I try to do anything else.
Okay,
Because
fantastic.
I know I am covered in blood and ick and gore and all sorts of nasty. So I'm going to get myself clean.
It's like one of my soundtracks cut
And
out.
if I can successfully do that, once that's done, I'm going to go back to my room and get dried up and try to get some rest.
Okay, fantastic. You make your way below deck eventually after getting yourself cleaned off the best you can, and dry off and get yourself to sleep. Meanwhile, Desh and Nash, what are the two of you up to?
Uh, wanted to be useful after not really getting any headway on their weapons. Like maybe I'll keep a few of their weapons for maybe studying later when it's not like swaying deck and all that kind of thing. Basically, I'll just hold on to like whatever I do.
Okay,
But
I hope you tell me that before I go below deck because I've got everything in my bag of holding. Because I shoved everything.
okay, if you took all the weapons, put in your bag of holding, then yeah, they're there. But I
Yeah,
would
just let me
also.
know whatever you wanted to grab, and I will give that to you before I go downstairs.
I'm not grabbing
Because
anything right now. I'm just saying it's in the bag.
okay, all right.
And I would say that I would then, with Nash helping out, either through eating in Nash's case or Nash just loving them over, we're going to do our best to help clear the deck as well as keep a lookout, make sure we don't have any secondary attack coming our way.
Okay, fantastic. Why don't you make me, with Desh, go ahead and make me a perception check, and with Nash, make me an athletics check.
All right, Dash, perception, better. Nash, you said athletics?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, roll
Okay.
fucking 40.
No, it's fine. So with a 15 on your perception check, you begin to look around. There aren't any signs of land or other ships that sort of are in the vast ocean around you. Instead, it's just a beautiful horizon and the vastness of the ocean surrounding you. Keeping sort of a lookout for any glowing lights in the water that were indicated to you by Sasha as being an indicator that you might be passing over a city of some sort. You do occasionally look down in the water, however, you do just see darkness below. The occasional small fish or shark coming into view, sort of many of the sharks that you do see quickly going into the wake of the ship to try and catch any body parts or any of the wonderful chum that you all are putting into the water. With Nash, she is helping not only move bodies, but also you can see that the cook is trying to convince him to take one of the larger brushes and use his snout to try and scrub some of the parts of the deck.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he's trying to guide Nash, if he's unsuccessful, Dash will do his best to, with his, hey, I can actually actively communicate. And I'll try to my best to guide Nash to, hey, lend a hand if he's trying to make you do this weird thing.
Okay. Could you give me an animal handling check with advantage?
With advantage.
Whoa.
Need it.
Yeah. All right.
Good
I would
crit.
say so.
Yeah, fantastic. The double crit.
Double crit.
Absolutely. So with that, you go ahead and you relay to Nash exactly what the cook's trying to get him to do, and you quickly find yourself guiding Nash along one of those very large, brush mops wrapped around his snout as he's cleaning the blood and gore from the deck. And you sort of, with the nat 20, I say you even get him in rhythm with the two other deck cleaners so that they start going up and down the deck in unison.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
For some use.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, Disney sing-songy, acrobatics that you're sort of watching as they clean the deck. With Nash in tow. So, while that is going on, what is Cinna up to?
I don't know. I guess I would also pitch in and help clean off the deck of the bodies after I made sure that everybody who needed a heal got one.
Okay, fantastic. Well, you've already been instrumental in getting those deck members who were knocked unconscious backing up onto their feet. So go ahead and make me just a pure athletics check.
Oh, I'm not super great at athletics.
Okay. That's not bad. You get some work done here and there. However, they keep you on these smaller projects as it is. But after about a good 2 or so hours, you've managed to clean the top deck, and besides a few small stains here and there that seem to be like they're going to need a couple days cleaning, you've all done a pretty good job of cleaning up the deck with the crew as well. Eventually, the captain will come over to the two of you. Thank you very much for your help. I greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, you should either get some rest or find a place to relax. It'll be a little while before we're in the Shark Fang territory, but once we are, I'm sure that they'll spot us before we spot them. I'm not expecting any sort of combat with them or anything. It's just we'll probably have to pay the toll.
And we have everything needed for toll.
Indeed. Seeing as we were headed out this way, I went ahead and prepared that. That is what your lovely animal companion Nash has been helping the cook with.
Yeah, good. In that case, suppose go down back to the area provided and get some sleep before we enter into Nomadic Water Village.
Okay. All right. Enough time will pass for a long rest for those of you who want to recover your half your hit dice, or I should say up to half your hit dice, your hit points, and as well any spells that you used during that encounter.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Spells and abilities, I should say, that require long rest. But the 8 hours will pass, and eventually there will be a bit of a call out on the main deck, as Nash needs to make another athletics check to help the cook get the large stew pot up to the main deck for the toll.
Is it all possible Desh could help him out to make sure we don't bungle this at the last minute?
I would say, yeah, sure, absolutely. Give advantage to whoever wants to make the athletics check.
Come on, Nash, my big beefy boy. Didn't need it.
27. Fantastic.
Better be cautious.
With that, the three of you manage to go ahead and get this large cauldron up onto the main deck, ready to go. You can see that it's sort of it looks a little bit like queso dip with lots of chunks of fish in it. As you get this boiling hot mixture up to the top deck. And it isn't long after you get it up to the top deck that you begin to hear a cry out from the watchtower that ships have been sighted coming from the east.
All right, so looking to the captain, because imagine she's on deck. Are these who we wait for?
Well, take a look. And she hands you her her glass for you to look through.
My glass, okay. Imagine I make use of it.
Perception
Remind me
check
to go-
advantage.
All right. Makes me think that I want to get like a scope of my rifle at one point, but
16, not bad.
doesn't matter.
So do we all hear the noise of the toll?
Yeah, you would hear
them
the
saying that
light
ships are coming?
scraping of this large metallic cauldron over the second deck from out of the kitchen. And eventually, a couple minutes after that, you would hear, just faintly from the second deck, "Ship sighted from the east!"
Okay, out of caution, I'm going to make sure that that everything's okay with my armor,
Mhm.
and I at least have 2 of my weapons on me, and I'm going to go up to the deck to just check out to see what's happening.
Meanwhile, looking through the glass, what you can see is there are 2 rather scuffed naval brigs. It looks like they've been in quite a bit of combat. You can see much of the wood has at one point been completely destroyed and rebuilt with different mismatching parts of wood from oak to palm, a number of various different sorts that have been used to scrap back together the 2 ships that you see coming from the east. The sails, clearly a heavy patchwork job over several years that are heavily dinged with like this dark grayish substance that seems to creep along the edge of the sails on either side. And on board both the ships, you do see these rather large, hunched over figures with protruding fins sort of walking back and forth. One of them on the lead ship sort of seeming to look out in your direction as well with a glass.
And they're humanoid?
At least from what Desh could tell from here, yeah.
All right, so handing the
I can see
glass
this too,
back to the
right?
cap.
They're humanoid?
You'd have to look through the glass in order to see it. They're miles out.
Oh, they're too far out for me to see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll hand it back to the captain. They look like ships, bit cobbled, but ships. This is not. I'm not one for water, so I default if you think it's them.
It's definitely them. Did you notice their fins?
Yes, I did.
Yep. Well, if you decide that you want to be ready for any combat, I highly doubt we'll have any. I'd suggest you go put on armor. Other than that, you're more than welcome to stay here with me.
Hey, I sleep in my armor, remember? You went over this last time.
That
I
is
have light
true.
armor.
Yeah, you have light armor,
he
so
has
you're able to
light
sleep.
armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said I made sure that, my armor was okay. And I grabbed 2 of my my weapons and went up to go see
Fantastic.
what was going on.
I'm just never taking my armor off again, so
You will get
just
exhaustion.
keeping it on
No,
all the time. Don't care.
No, it's your heavy
No,
armor.
I am.
You'll get exhaustion. You can't sleep in it.
And unfortunately, with exhaustion rules, that will eventually kill you in the long run.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, roughly a good Hour and a half passes as you watch these ships grow larger and larger on the horizon until finally they're maybe a good 600 feet out from the starboard side of your ship as they came from the east and then circled across your bow and then slowly came down to side by side on the starboard side.
As they're coming towards us, I would like to go ahead and pull out my sketch pad and take a drawing and make a drawing of what the ships look like,
Yeah.
and make drawings of what the humanoids look like as soon as I can see them well.
Fantastic. All right. So they're your very typical naval brig. Of I'd say the early 18th century. So one deck, large, wide, but not exactly menacing when it comes to firepower. As you can see, they don't actually have any cannons or anything like that. It's just mostly a hodgepodge of broken and put back together Scorpions and ballista. The Scorpions taking up where their cannons normally would sit, and the ballista taking up the bow and aft of the ship on sort of a pintle mount. The humanoids, if you've never seen one of these guys, hold on. I will grab up a thing and post it in the general chat.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Copy image. Where's the Discord chat? There it is. Paste. There you go.
Oh, what a handsome fellows.
Yeah. So you are greeted as the ships get close enough to these overly large, muscular, extremely muscular for their size,
Free shark.
shark people. Mainly dominated by a huge, jagged-toothed shark head, and then the rest of them is simply in the scale and color scheme of sharks, but overall resembles that of just either a twisted version of a Goliath and a dwarf with a dwarf's muscular set sort of smashed together. Many of them stand anywhere between an average of 6 foot to 8.5 foot tall. And there are a multitude of colors. So you have some that look like they're great whites, others that look like tiger sharks, some look like hammerheads. And you can always
say,
tell.
is there a hammerhead?
Yeah, of course. In fact, there is a hammerhead that looks to have a tricorn on top of his head.
Now here's the trick question: is there any goblin sharks or just freaky looking sharks?
Above decks, not immediately. However, make me an investigation check as the ships get closer. See if you spot anything.
Not a clue.
Okay. If you had advantage, that would have been great. But with an 8,
If only.
it's just a mishmash of about 30 or 40 bodies constantly moving around on the decks, hurriedly making adjustments to sails and pulling up tacking and things like that.
I do a perception check since I am trying to
what
to
are you
draw
looking
them.
for? Yeah, sure.
I'm just looking for the different kinds, shapes, sizes, colors. I'm sitting here with my sketch pad drawing them. So,
Perception. Excuse me.
oops. Well, it'd be great if I could just click on it without my sheet deciding to disappear on me there.
14 large, humanoid, bulky, and several of them. Various different shapes and sizes. Their head seems to indicate what kind of shark they are. Oh, I know what's going on. 1 second, chat. All right, sorry about that. We had an unscheduled guest appear at the house. So,
Ah,
moving on.
surprise visit.
Um, where was I? Ah, yes. With a 14, um, while you do see, hammerheads, tiger sharks, great whites, and a few others here and there, you do spot a single one that's a bit shorter than the rest. Looks a little bit more like a remora than an actual shark that moves around and goes between the legs of the larger creatures. For those of you who aren't entirely sure what remoras are, they are the parasitic shark-like little creatures that sort of stick onto the side of sharks and eat any scraps that they leave. Excuse me. All right. Eventually, the ship does come up next to you and gets close enough so that eventually a large piece of plank is extended between yours and one of the brigs that pulls up beside you. And you quickly watch as a hammerhead with the tricorn that you saw earlier begins making his way across the plank, a large toothy grin sort of crawling across his face before dropping down on your deck and saying, "Well, well, well, if it isn't Yasha and the others, and I see you have guests. Kobold, haven't seen your kind in a while."
Yes. Hello. I Desh. I am reason Captain come out this way. I seek something in these waters with permission.
That's nice. You got our toll there. There it is. And you watch as Yasha quickly gives a few quick boots to the large cauldron next to her. And a few of these sharks, mainly the ones that look like tiger sharks, begin to rush over and quickly collect the cauldron and carefully begin to slide it over the large plank. After about a 20-minute exchange of friendly words, looks like a bit of coin here and there, and the returning of an empty cauldron, the plank is released, and the captain of the Shark-Fang ship gives you a little bit of a salute before they begin to sail off towards the west.
Is there anything in particular that I notice about anything about their ships or their armor or the way they speak or the way they move?
Make me a investigation check.
Okay.
Nine. Everything
Yeah.
looks cobbled together, and the captain seemed to speak perfect common, but other than that, they are shark people. That's about all you can gather.
Okay. I'm just trying for future reference to get as much information as possible, just in case I want to try to turn into one.
In that case, make me a nature check.
Okay.
11. You'd have to spend a couple more hours studying them. However, from what you're able to gather, you could loosely imitate one of them, at least the remora at best. The remora seems to fit
Right.
more your
Just not
size
enough time.
profile, but you'd need a lot more time with the larger of them to fully replicate.
Because I'm so short and they're so big.
Right.
Okay.
All right, with that. It isn't long, maybe about another 4 hours as the sun is beginning to set, that there is a call for land ho. I would like Desh to go ahead and make me with your proficiency modifier, make me a wisdom check.
Okay, so wisdom roll plus 3.
Mhm.
11.
Okay, so with an 11. As you begin to see bits and pieces of islands coming into view over the horizon, sort of over the bend. You try and focus in on the heart, and it's generally pulling you in that direction. Within 11, I would say you get the feeling that it's pulling you towards the eastern side of the archipelago.
Doesn't he have an inspiration left?
It would have already passed by now. It's been well over 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Well, if I get the just general pull, I would gesture the captain to towards the eastern bend where you would not exact, but whatever I seek, it is in that bend of islands, gesturing off towards the direction I'm feeling it from.
Okay. So you want me to swing around on the eastern side of the archipelago? Do you want me to stay towards the mainland or the other smaller ones?
Do I get a feeling to either or is it too vague at the moment to decide?
Either or at this point. Would be, the feeling that you're getting, make me another wisdom check. Same thing, +3.
18.
You want to head towards the mainland.
After a time contemplating and looking at it, I feel mainland is better, closer.
Of course. I should warn you, should we get too close to the mainland, we'll probably begin to see the local inhabitants of that island. In particular, you're dealing with creatures that are more predator than prey that reside over that island. Many of them humanoid. Have you ever seen any of the snake people?
I don't think Yuan-Ti are part of the Feywild, so I'm not sure if Desh would have any point of reference for them.
Make me history check.
More brain power. I'm just doing all the intelligence rolls tonight. I suck them all.
4. No.
No, I know of great serpents in Feywild, but I don't know about serpent people.
Well, it'll be interesting either way. All right, it should take us, judging from where we are, about another 6 hours of travel. We'll park it maybe 3 hours from now, so that way we don't drift too close to these shores when it's too dark for us to see the rocks.
All right, I'm going to attempt to go ahead and do a special prayer with my my tools, my little idol and all my little tools, in order to ask Saren Raid for divine protection on our quest.
Sure, religion check.
Come on, dice, don't fail me now.
Well,
Oh, they don't like me. Oh, they definitely don't like me today.
all right.
Oh,
Almost like a
that
sign from
failed
above to stop calling.
miserably.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, as the weather before was clear and looked like it was going to be a smooth night, Dash, as you stand there looking on towards the mountain range of the main isle, you see a few dark clouds on the horizon, and a few flashes of thunder in the distance. For maybe a good 10 or 15 minutes later, you finally hear the collapse of the thunder.
Seems storm is far away. Should we be concerned if we still hear when it arrive?
Not yet, I think. By the time it arrives, we should be close enough to the isle that shouldn't get too dangerous. We can at least beach ourselves.
All right. Do we have small ships to
Indeed,
go ashore if
we
need
do.
be?
Either way, that won't be for some time, though.
All right.
I'd say make any
As
final preparations you and your group have. This could get interesting.
there are different kinds of
I
interesting.
know I'm gonna start packing up my stuff and getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming we're going to be going on land soon, and in my utter frustration, due to all of the extreme failures I have had in trying to contact my god of choice, I am going to throw a mental scream out into the universe.
Yes,
Is there
throw a
any
tantrum.
god that will help us?
Make another religion check.
Yes, you conjure the devils.
This is my extreme and total frustration. No.
Sign, you're not a holy person.
It's almost like you need levels in cleric or paladin.
Not a clique. Not even a squiggly line. Okay. All right.
All right. With that, a few hours pass.
Be that way. Just be that way.
Darkness comes, and the flashes of lightning sort of off in the distance. When finally you hear the rattling of chain from the anchor finally being dropped, as it is indicated to you that you are close enough to the shore for rowboats to take you there. However, Yasha's not sure if you should go now while it's still dark or wait until morning. She leaves that up to you.
About how long do we estimate it is before nightfall?
It is nightfall.
Oh, it is nightfall right now.
Mm-hmm. That's how long it took
Well,
them
What
to
does
get
the
into
captain
range.
say about traveling this terrain during the night?
She's never traveled the main isle, so.
Well, are the creatures on the main isle night creatures or day creatures?
She does not know.
Oh, doesn't know.
Maybe best if we are in unknown terrain, we go under best circumstances. Maybe during daylight.
It's fine with me. I sure could, use some extra sleep, but regardless, I can see, but I realize not everybody else can.
I can see in the dark. So
Yeah, I have superior dark vision.
Regular dark vision.
Right, so
we can all see in the dark. It's just a matter of, do we want to go into unknown terrain where we have the advantage of everything here could see in the dark as well, and just realize, oh, look, these idiots bumbling around the island.
Yeah, not really.
okay. So let's get some sleep and head out first thing in the morning. And how long do you want to tell them that we're going to be ashore before we come back?
Yeah, sure. Right now, Jess is just kind of just staring off at the island pretty intently right now. It feels like I've gotten pretty close at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just kind of focused on the island, not really fully paying attention.
I would say you're close enough
where
to the
you
island
think
at this
you could
point.
reach out and touch it.
Not yet, because you all know that sensation is when Deshwith gets within a certain distance, the heartbeats sound audible to even the two of you. So not that close yet. However, Desh, you are getting a strong sensation of the object that you seek coming from the mountains.
How far inland are the mountains?
The mountains there's a mountain range that sort of sits along the spine of the island itself that goes from either end.
Alright, so he's getting into the mountains, which... Is there any way that... I mean, it's dark out right now, but is there any way I could try to get, like, a travel sense? It's like, okay, from the coastline to those mountains, it's looking maybe such and such time of travel?
Let's see here. From what you've been able to see, and using your knowledge of the maps that you saw within the demon ship previously, go ahead and make me a nature check.
Oh,
Anyone's free to do this.
God damn it. All these fucking smart checks. I'm not smart.
Nature check?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Senna, for being smart. Yeah, you're both smarter than me.
So Senna and Sasha looking over the island and remembering what you can from the maps that you had of this archipelago, the main central island itself is probably about 270 square miles.
That's a decent distance.
Well, for now, Desh is just going to post up, and he is going to be on a watch rotation. Just because even if the people on the ship are watching, Desh wants to keep his eyes on that island for probably a good chunk of the night.
Looking at it and sort of keeping in mind your usual pace with your animals, you could probably cover, with it being unknown terrain, 30 miles a day.
Maybe at least a day or two or so. Probably like 4 days for a round trip.
Maybe 5, maybe 6. Depends.
Yeah, that's definitely a time frame that feels a little iffy to ask NPCs to just sit around and twiddle your thumbs.
Well, we paid for the boat.
Yeah, well, Deshwood, I guess.
We
Well,
don't want them leaving without us.
while he's just settling in, he would inform the captain that, looking at what I'm seeking, the mountains may be goal, so it would take us quite some time to get there and back.
Yes.
If you are prepared to anchor for that long.
With your mounts, I'd give it 2 to 3 days travel, depending on your speed, to the mountain range. However long it takes to find this object you seek, and I'm guessing it does not come easily and will probably require you to kill something. And then the
Most
time it will
likely.
take for you to get back.
Exactly.
It will not be troublesome to stay anchored or at least nearby for that long. Yes?
Well, we are near a pirate settlement not too far from here. Worst comes to worst, I can dock there, resupply myself, come back on every 2-day period.
Alright. So we just say that we make sure that if you do need resupply and need to leave, that we meet at the shoreline. So I'm assuming looking around, is there like a notable landmark?
Sure,
To determine
give me a perception check. This will be at this will be at disadvantage because it is nighttime, and even though you have
It's
dark
nighttime.
vision, you're looking for a landmark on islands that are separated by several miles.
11.
11. I'll say with 11. You can make out very faintly on the horizon the sort of the light pollution glow of a city lit up towards the northeast.
Okay. So yeah, on the island, there's city lights.
Not on the main island, on one of the other smaller islands in the surrounding parts of the archipelago.
Okay. I guess that would be probably our best bet as a jumping off point.
What we could do is I could perhaps give you one of the... we could land in port, and then I could give you one of the smaller ships to take to the main island. You could then do your investigation while my crew will safely be within lodging. And when you are ready, you will make your way back to port. And we will meet back up and then sail back to the mainland from there. You will be limited in how much resources you can bring back should you find a large lump of gold or anything like that that you'd wish to bring with you.
Understood.
Well, we can make note of it. If it is something worthwhile and worth the risk, then you do a bit of it for all the work you've done. But right now, what I seek is not something that is of value to most people.
Let's see. And she goes ahead and goes down to her cabin. Now, you say that she sort of motions for you to follow. Dash.
I'll keep pace with her, leave Nash to just chill on the top deck right now.
You said that you're getting whatever feeling is that you're looking for is in the mountains. She brings out a set of maps. I don't have most of the mainland charted, however I have the rough details here. And from what stories I've been able to collect, I'd say your largest danger when you make landfall is going to be here in the northern part of the mountains. That is where the temples and pyramids of the civilizations, the savage civilizations of this island, mainly stay.
Are these the snake people you spoke of? I don't imagine they have dealings like the ships we dealt with before. They don't have offerings for free passage.
I would not be able to tell you. I have not had any personal experiences with them. There is a ship within port. Well, it may or may not be within port. I don't exactly know her schedule. But the Annabelle is a ship that once crashed there and has been recovered. And I believe a few members of her crew did spend a few days on the isle and did run across these people. But we would have to see if they were in port in order to get such stories.
I see. Well, we have at least idea of what to avoid. It is start to making way there.
Now, what I also wanted to point out is, from what I've been able to gather here and there, aside from these temples and spires to the north, there seems to be a large swamp that takes up most of the eastern ridge of the mountains that extends for several miles. So expect, of course, your usual creatures there.
I see. Thank you. It is good to have at least some knowledge of what we trek into.
It's not much, but it's what I can provide.
Yeah, it is appreciated.
Well, in the meantime, get a bit of rest. We'll see what we can do.
All right. Dash will I guess, get some rest in the kitchen with Nash.
Okay. So you go ahead
And,
and rest in the kitchen with Nash. Oh, go ahead.
Prepare for whatever's going to come tomorrow.
Fantastic. What about the two of you? Any preparations you want to get done or anything like that?
I'm going to do some brief meditation. Make sure all my gear is clean and in tip-top shape. And then I'm going to get some rest.
Okay. Fantastic. Sasha,
Yeah,
does
I don't have
relatively the
anything
same?
special.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. So,
I'm not even going to eat with the crew. I'm going to pop one of those little marbles in my mouth.
all right. Fantastic. Roll me a D100.
Okay. A D100, you said?
82. 82. Give me a second here. It tastes like steamed white rice with banana and Brussels sprouts on a bed of steamed dandelions.
How unusual.
Yep.
Okay. I had a bit of a veggie tropical meal.
Yeah.
All right, to bed I go.
Fantastic. All right. So, eventually the morning comes to pass, and as all of you are awoken, get your things on and together, you are all greeted with a familiar sight as you head to the top deck, and you can see, pulled in, as the ship has pulled up anchor and is moving along parallel with the Isle in the direction of the pirate port that was pointed out the night before, pulled into I guess you could call it a bay of the main island itself, is a large golden ship with a now darkened brass brazier that sits in the center of it. Unmoving.
That is the ship. If we see that,
Isn't my cell phone work here?
No.
Okay.
looking to the captain and bring her attention to the ship. That is the ship that when we last saw held the item I seek. To what group does it belong? Are you aware?
I need to make a check for her. She's got a -1 to this.
Oh God! I
No,
thought she had.
I
thought she had both specialization.
She does, but you're asking her if she knows exactly what group this belongs to or anything like that.
Oh, come on! Surely there's like different styles.
Ship that is.
There are, but this is a particularly exotic one. I'm unfamiliar with any ship of that. My God, it's large. You know, while I am quite the fan of the ship we currently reside on, I wouldn't be opposed to taking that.
Is that wise in ship work?
Probably not. I would have no way to know exactly what the mechanics of this ship is. I think while you search the Isle, I may indeed send a few scouting parties to find out exactly how this ship may work. Perhaps we can steal it.
Oh my.
I mean, I'm not one to know the ins and outs and etiquette of piracy. I'll leave that to her, so long as we don't hopefully lose our boat out of here in the effort.
Don't worry, I will be cautious. I won't reveal ourselves as the...
I literally wink at her and grin.
I would love to have that thing. That is amazing craftsmanship. A little gaudy. I could melt down most of the gold.
Mental thumbs up for that one.
Well,
Tremendous mental thumbs up.
not but an hour later, you are pulled into a port of a ramshackle city on an island that is within visual distance of the large bay where the Golden Ship resides. And your ship is quickly swarmed by a number of individuals who begin throwing planks up, tying it down, and moving in to see if they can grab and store any cargo and quickly see if they can be the proud owners of the docking fees. However, after a bit of negotiation from your captain and a bit of fly swatting, as it were, they quickly back off and head back down the docks.
These more like
Were
shark
these
people. Snake
It's a mixture.
people.
You see regular humans, half elves, dwarves, halflings, and gnomes. A few elves here and there, shark people, a Yuan-Ti here and there within the crowd, and a couple minotaurs, as well as some Arashoks.
Wow,
Aeroshocks.
really diverse group.
Whatever the fuck their name is. It's the double A, the flight. Those guys.
Azamar, Aarakocra.
No, not Azamar.
Aarakocra?
Aarakocra. Yeah, that one. I
And-
thought they
and
were
Aeroshock.
Arashoks.
Aeroshock, like there's Kunari on this island.
Yeah, I've never seen them played by any person, despite the fact that they're a player race, because every DM is like, no, fuck that race. I'm not going to allow flying people. But yeah, that one. That's particularly why I don't remember their name.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if we're on the up and up, then, and so this is like a proper. It's like a proper city / town, or just like just something really
it's more like a
ramshackle.
proper, large town, not necessarily on the size of a city itself. You can see that there is a bit of a sort of ramshackled together, several times patchworked fort that is sort of sits on a hill overlooking the large town that looks out towards the waves. But other than that, a few tall buildings here and there, but not many. And there actually is the largest building is about an 8-story wizard's tower that sits a good 3 or 4 miles into the city or into the town itself.
Is there any sign of like a tavern-esque place? Because this place is like established.
You are swarmed with the sights, sounds, and smells of taverns, brothels, inns, and everything a wandering pirate who's just been docked from a long voyage at sea could want.
Okay.
Can we tell if this ramshackle town is this way because it's been attacked so many times and rebuilt so many times? Or is it this way just because they don't make enough to make it look like a normal city?
Looking over the town, from what you can tell, it's sort of a mixture of both. It's sort of a mixture of 3 things. In some parts of the town, it looks like a matter of economics. In others, it looks like a matter of, closer to the shore, I should say, it looks like a matter of past battles that have taken place in the bay this port is in. And some of them look like they just have been lazily left there to dilapidate. So it's a mixture of those 3 elements. There are, however, a few fine-looking buildings. They just sit further back in the city itself, or in the town itself.
How long ago does it look like this town was attacked?
Make me an investigation check. As I assume at this point, in order to sort of get that sort of knowledge, you'll have to step off the ship and go a little exploring in town. 5. So Sasha, you all watch as Sasha sort of makes her way down the gangplank, gets onto the dock that leads into the sandy, immediate open beach, where you can see that there are a number of crates and barrels stacked up, fish nets everywhere, people fishing and people cleaning equipment or working away on small projects here and there, just spread out over this beach. And as she gets in maybe about 5 feet into the beach before her foot clips the side of an old cannonball and she trips a little bit, and as she looks down, her immediately coming to her mind, this place was probably attacked yesterday. I mean, there's a cannonball right in the beach right here.
Who would just leave this lying around?
Wow.
Okay.
All right, so I am a nut job out of the, just right out the boat. Yeah. Right. Okay, here we go. Off into the wild blue yonder, y'all.
As that's going on,
I'm following
you guys can see that the crew of your ship is slowly loosening up the straps on one of the larger of the rowboats that they have, and you can see that they're working away to quickly attach in a sailing mechanic so that you are able to actually sail out to the island and get there faster than rowing.
All right, so it's going to be a quick thing, or it's going to take a while?
It looked like it'll take maybe an hour for them to finish setting it into the water, getting it prepped, and then getting the sail set up properly. But once that's done, you're good to go.
So how long does it take for our animals to get on shore?
It's very quick. They open up the cargo bay, and then they open up the main deck ramp, and they can quickly lead your animals out.
All right. So in this area, is it best to walk our horse, goat, Nash things, or is it better to ride? What's the best?
It depends on where you're looking to go. I mean, if you just want to,
for right now,
if you just want to hang around the docks, walking your animals or leaving them tied up to one of the various different posts here at the docks is just fine. If you're looking to travel into the town itself, maybe then taking your animals, because you do see quite a few people who are riding around on horses, and no large goats, but the most exotic of creatures you would see is up the hill, or up the pathway that leads to the hill of the fort. You watch as there are a few dwarves who look to have on mining equipment, many of them carrying large pickaxes, sitting on top of this large centipede that's slowly crawling up the hill.
Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna follow Dash. I'm just gonna follow his lead because he knows where the heart is. So, and we are getting close. So I'm sure he's.
Well, the heart's on the other island. It's not on this island.
Yeah, you're just waiting for the ship to be set up so that you can go, because it takes them a while.
I think if it's going to take an hour to get this set up, now is the time to get the locals' assessment of that island.
Mm-hmm. And not too far from the docks, you do see an emporium, a magical emporium, in case you guys want to pick up any health potions or anything like that.
Okay, so it's not on this island that we're docking at?
No, this is like a nearby pirate place.
So you're in an archipelago. It is a massive chain of islands, in particular, that surrounds one large island. The large island is the one where the heart is, at least according to Desh.
All right, so we're not at the main island right now. We're at an outer island.
Correct.
Near the main
from
island.
where you're standing, from the outer island, you can see a good 24 miles away from you is the bay where the large golden ship with the brazier is docked on the other island.
Okay. So we're only getting off on this island just for supplies and then getting back on, and then
you're getting off on this island so that your ship has somewhere to rest while they wait for you to go out, get what you need, and then come back. They're going to resupply here, and then every 2 days they're going to circle out to the shore and see if you're ready to come. Meanwhile, Yasha has indicated to you that she's going to try and see if she can steal that large golden ship.
Right, that other large boat. How do we get our animals from this mini island?
They're tying a second rowboat, the one without a sail, to yours.
Okay, all right.
Because otherwise Nash takes up too much space. Otherwise,
We can't. Nash is huge, and we
Mhm.
I
can't.
mean, worst case
walk our
scenario, if we had to squeeze,
animals
Nash
on
can
water.
he can swim, and Dash can ride him as he swims.
that's true. Does Nash have his natural
Yeah,
swim
but
speed yet?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so he could actually help tow your boat there quicker.
Yeah, we can get Nash in there. He's got a 30-foot climb and swim speed, so he can just paddle us along.
but Nash is fine. But the goat and the horse would not.
That's what the other robot is for. Yeah, that's what the robot that they're
Yeah,
tying along
okay.
for yours is for.
All right. Okay. And this island takes our cards or just cash.
You have no idea. You'd have to go and try and see.
All right. Okay, so let's go get some potions, y'all. And
So
get ready,
you
'cause
go
he said
ahead
there's
and
a
make your
magical
way
store.
over towards the Emporium. Let's see here. Let me get this
Mhm.
open. And you are quickly greeted by a very young human woman, maybe in around the age of 18 or 19, long flowing blonde hair that goes down to about her midriff, sort of a nice but loose button-down shirt and a very frilly burgundy skirt that goes down to about her ankles. With a half-eaten apple on her table and a soft cover book opened up on the counter, and a number of different display cases on either side of the shop. She looks up as the opening bell of her door jingles and gives you all a wry smile as you enter. Well, welcome on in. Come on in, come on in. What exactly can Linda do for you today?
Mm.
While they talk, I'm going to be looking around to see what she has.
Okay. Fantastic. So she waits for one of you to approach and say anything?
I
nudged Senna.
have potions. I don't need potions. I guess I'll go and chit chat though. I guess my friend is just gonna look around and see what you're offering. I'm just along
I
for the
see.
ride.
Well, if there's anything in particular that you're looking for, please let me know. I have a number of items in the back that aren't normally on display.
Do you have? Imagine you have health potions, but do you have other potions as well?
Yes, indeedy. I have a number of others. I've got scrolls. I've got potions of all kinds. I've even got special armors and weapons. It's just a matter of what you're looking for.
You
Dash.
take only gold, or do you take cards?
We take gold around these parts, my lady.
Okay, no cards?
We don't exactly have the machines to do the conversion rate.
Yeah, you're basically going to the Amish and asking, do you take debit?
That's okay.
Well,
We
Dash,
also
upon
have
re-
components if any of you need any spell components or anything like that.
Well, Dash is going to besiege because remember what the captain has told him. Do you have things for venomous bites and the like? Thinking snake people, there might be poison in our near future.
I do have a few potions of poison resistance, if that's what you're looking for. I've also got potions of necrotic resistance, things like that. What exactly are you looking for in that regard? How powerful? How long-lasting?
We are planning journey in within the day. We go to, and he does his best to explain like which island they're planning on going to, and was told there are serpent people there. I am never met with likes of them before, so unsure of what kind of dangers they pose.
So you're looking for something on the scale of dealing with a Yuan T's poison. I see. Well, let's see here. And she goes ahead and stands up and goes over to one of the cabinets that you can see. It looks like a giant armoire, and she opens up the two main doors to it, and you can see that there are a number of shelves within that have potions that have various different labels on them. I can get you, here we go, 1, 2, 3, up to 5 potions of resistance, should you need, for poison. I've also got fire, lightning, psychic, and a few others if you're interested.
How much is potions of poison resist?
Potions of poison resistance are only going to cost you, we'll put it at about 25 gold a pop.
And she said she had 5 of them.
Yeah, she has 5 in total.
25 a pop, 5 in total. Yeah, I'll show 125 for 4 of them.
All right, she goes ahead and puts those down on the counter. Okay, is there anything else I can get you? Perhaps a dust of dryness or dust of disappearance, oil of slipperiness, bag of holding, potion of growth, fire breathing. I've got a number of things.
Do you have any instead of normal healing potions, do you have any of the higher level healing potions?
I certainly do. I've got some greater and superior.
All right.
How many are you looking to get? I've got about 20 stock of each type of potion.
How much are your greater and your superior?
1 second. She goes ahead and she opens up a ledger behind her counter and begins scrolling through the various different pages as the DM tries to find.
Potion prices.
So, you're looking at a regular healing being about 50 gold pieces. We're looking at a greater being about 250 gold. A superior is about 2,000, and a supreme is 20,000.
Okay, you said greater is 250?
250 for the greater, 2,000 for the superior, 20,000 for the supreme.
Okay. I'll take 2 greater.
Okay. 2 greater, that'd be 500 gold pieces for that. All right, she puts that on the counter.
Okay.
I'll take 2 greater healing potions as well.
All right, 2 greater for you. What about you, little daughter?
Well, if she still got them, it's what, 500 for 2 greater?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll shell out for that. 2 greater healing potions.
Don't minus any of your money yet. She's just totaling everything and putting everything on the counter.
Oh, you have said that before now. I've already done all the math for everything I bought.
Put that back.
All right,
I gotta
great.
put it back. Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
Do you have anything interesting in the way of breastplates?
Breastplate. I've got a mithril breastplate in the back if you're interested.
What's the cost on that?
What's a mithril? What's yeah?
Give me a second here.
Mm.
Mithril breastplate. Do. Oh god, I should have gone away from that page.
You fool.
Yes, you fool. 1 second, I have to go back over to the mithril page. Okay, here it is. So you're looking for a full breastplate for that. It's going to run you about 1,500 gold pieces.
You notice how I have this scallion armor? I was wondering whether or not you had any the same kind of armor, scallion armor like I have, but an actual magical scallion armor that might be a higher harder to hit.
What is your current? What is Scallion's current bonus?
The current bonus on it is I don't know. Wait a minute. My armor class is 15. Hold on. Scallion. Hold on. Let me I'm scrolling too fast, probably. Scallion. Crest armor. There it is. Information. Breastplate. Yeah. First blow. Yeah. Withstand. Yeah. Notably lighter. Yeah. However.
Is it like 12 plus your dex? What is it?
Yeah, like what's the AC calculation, not like the flavor text.
It was
Okay, so what's your dex modifier? Here, let's
my
find this out.
dex modifier
Yeah, I'll go ahead and figure this out. So your dex modifier is a 1. Okay, so it
1.
was normally a 14 plus your dex modifier is the Scallion. That's already really good. Let me see here. Well, what I could offer you is perhaps I could get you a glamored studded leather plus 3 or 2. Might do the trick.
So this is a DM question. So I'm at a plus what right now for the Scallion?
So the Scallion is a 14 plus dex mod. Because your dex mod is a 1 that brings you to a total.
1.
Yeah, so that was 14 plus
so
1.
It's a 15.
Which brings you to the 15.
All right, so what she's talking about is what?
She's talking about a glamored studded leather, which is normally... So a single glamored studded leather is a 13 plus dex. And that's essentially like a studded leather plus 1. But she's talking about giving you a studded leather, or a glamored studded leather plus 3 or 4. Which would bring you to either 15 plus 1 or 16 plus 1.
Okay.
So either 16 or 17 would be your AC.
Okay, so how much would the 16 plus 1 be, the 17 AC?
That one in particular is the more pricey of the bunch, and that would run you somewhere around... One second here.
Quick math.
That would run you somewhere around 50,000 gold pieces.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you want really good stuff, you gotta pay a really good price.
Yeah. That is a beautiful price. But I'm not that deep in dive. I would like to show her some of my silk. How much silk do I have on me right now?
How many silkworms do you have in total?
Hello?
How many silkworms do you have in total?
I can't hear you.
Testing 1, 2,
Okay,
testing
has
1, 2.
my volume gone out?
I can't hear him either.
Okay, you guys can hear me over there.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Aaron.
No, still can't hear you.
How about...
No. Nada. Nothing.
How about now?
Nine.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Now that we have that fixed, and you guys can hear me, even though that the stream could hear me the entire time. How many silkworms do you have on you?
On me currently, let me scroll down. I have I now. The last time I counted them, which was before we started this long journey, I had only 21 on me.
Okay, so roll me a
And
1d100.
I had one. Hold on. I had 1 pound of
That's fine. Just roll me a
silk
1d100.
webbing before. 1d100.
Okay, so you add 77 to your total silkworms.
Okay, so
And then
now I have 98.
okay, you have 98. So roll me a 1d10.
1d10. 8.
In total, you have 9 pounds of silk.
Okay, so I have 9 pounds of silk. All right, so I would like to see what she thinks of my silk and how much she would be willing to pay for it.
Make me a persuasion check.
Okay. Can I ask? Can I wiggle Asena a little bit and ask for a little inspiration?
Yes. I know you can
Okay.
do this. You are a wonderful negotiator. You feel inspired by my words.
If you can get 50,000 gold out of 9 pounds of silk, I'm going to be shocked.
Okay. All right. So, this is persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Roll that
Wow.
inspiration.
You're trying to run a
Wow.
business. My God.
My inspiration is what?
a
One
D8.
D what? Wow, that hurt. Oh boy. She is so not interested.
She looks
Whoa.
over it and says, I'd probably give you a
Oh,
discount
wow.
of maybe about 20 gold pieces for that.
Only
I'll put that in
49,980.
my bag. No way. No way. That is really expensive silk. No, I put that right on back in my bag. And say,
All right.
okay. Apparently you don't have a market out here for that.
So,
Okay. So,
now that we've gone back to talking exact coinage here, the offer still sits on the table of 50,000 for that particular piece of armor that you were looking for.
that's a little bit too rich for my blood.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and put
Thank
this
you.
on in the back then while you reconsider your options. Perhaps I would suggest something that might be a little bit in your price range, such as a ring of protection or a necklace, something like that.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
as she finishes putting it up, and
quick-
she comes back to the front.
Quick question for the DM. Can I even add any more things? Because you can only be
You can be
you can
attuned to
only
3
be,
things.
attuned to 3 things, right?
Right, but you
You're an
can.
artificer.
Because I'm attuned to my belt
Okay.
of returning. I'm attuned to the anti-scrying ring,
All right.
and I'm attuned to my my shoes, right?
Okay.
My elbow
Well,
boots, right?
the
So,
rings
no,
of
I-
protection and things like that don't require attunement. So you just, if you want to keep the current items you have, you just buy things that don't require attunement.
Okay. So, but my blade doesn't require it. Did my blade require attunement?
Does it state that it requires attunement in the descriptor?
I didn't write the whole description in. It's a blade of lawful judgment.
The blades of lawful
And
judgment
I don't remember
do not
it
require
saying
attunement.
anything about attunement. Okay. All right. So I don't have to attune to that. Okay. All right. So I think I have a space for that. So what did you call the ring again?
We have rings and necklaces of protection, if you are interested, at varying different price ranges, depending on how protecty they get. You know, we have animated shields. I have this beautiful heart necklace that not only gives you a little bit more protection, but also when you are unfortunate enough to pass out in the heat of combat, it will rejuvenate you for a short while and allow you to heal yourself.
How much is that?
That particular piece runs about 2,500 gold pieces.
And the rings?
The most base level enchantment rings, out of game terms, a ring of protection +1, will run you about 500 gold pieces in total.
Okay. All right. I think I'll just add a ring of protection.
All right, so you add a single ring of protection there. All right. Okay, is there anything else you might be interested in? Perhaps a cloak of the bat or anything like that?
No, I love my cloak. The one I have is great.
Very well, very
Okay.
well.
All right. So then I look over at Senna to see whether or not she's willing to haggle down our overall price. Because obviously I have been very bad at haggling.
What's our current total?
Your current total is sitting at 2,125 gold pieces.
Hmm.
And I'm 1,000 of it.
All right. Let's see. I have this pair of boots, barely worn, boots of striding and springing. I haven't been using them anymore. Willing to trade them, all this stuff, plus another 4 greater healing potions.
Well, let's see here. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check with advantage. $18. And these are the boots of striding, you said?
Yeah, boots of striding and springing. Springing and striding?
Springing and striding, all right.
Striding and springing? You can spring and stride, or stride and spring.
How about this? What I will do for you is, including the extra 4 healing potions, and perhaps we could agree to a total sum of everything already, and if you hand me over those boots, a total sum of 2,225.
That doesn't seem
Sounds
like a
good.
very good deal.
The cost only went up by 100, even though you just added on 4 greater healing potions.
He offered her to sell her boots of striding and springing, right?
And
springing.
Striding and springing. She was offering to give that to
Yeah,
her
she's-
and get
Yeah.
4 graders added on to your total. Which means that would have been
Right.
another 1,000 gold.
Yeah, those boots are worth more.
Those
Than
boots
that.
are worth a whole lot more than that.
It's true.
Yeah, it's almost like
At their
resale
base
value.
price,
Those
but there's
those
exactly.
magical
Thank you, Wade.
boots are-
Thank you,
Yeah,
Wade,
but
for
Made a good persuasion roll. No, I guess we'll just pay base. I'll keep my boots. We don't need those extra potions.
All right. Well, in that case,
Yeah, I mean, because that's not.
Mm.
Those magical boots are worth a heck of a lot more than. Okay. All right.
will that be all, or are you interested in more items? Perhaps rods, wands, scrolls? I've got everything up to, and she'll say the in-universe equivalent of 5th level.
Nope,
Yeah,
I think
like-
we're good.
Dash is just going for basic supplies, unless she magically has like, oh, here's also some kind of weird kit that you can use to enchant your animal. I doubt she has anything like that, but
Do you ask?
I guess it is unlikely. But I seek aid for a companion, a beast. We fight things, and sometimes it seems mortal claw and fang is not enough. It's only as if enchanted can bite through the armor of some foes we meet.
That does tend to make sense. And you're looking to enchant this beastie, as it were, so that he may, too, be of greater use in combat.
If possible.
Well, at most what I could do for you is I could get up the natural attacks of this beastie so that they would count as dealing magical damage against an opponent. But that would be the most I'd be able to do at this point. However, it would take about a good month of training on my end to give him the correct amount of potions and elixirs and magical arcane trainings through telepathy in order to get your beastie in such shape.
Yeah, sadly, we don't have a month to just chill. So we kind of got, our ship leaving within like the hour.
Well, the offer always stands on the table, as I am one of the few magic shops in existence.
I was gonna say the fact we found this is also very odd. I guess got really on top of like, oh, the world's defracked. I guess time to make a killing. But if it were to come to pass, what would the price for such services render?
I'd say the price for such services rendered, as long as you're willing to provide the animal and enough feed for a month, I'd only charge you maybe 8,000 gold pieces in total.
I do not have that kind of thing, but considering I'm not actively saying, yeah, I'll buy it right now, Dash will just nod and, yeah, as expected, is investment, but I will make sure to keep in mind in the future we find ourselves fighting more and more things, and it may be worth the price tag if we find our foes overwhelming.
Well, you keep that in mind,
Okay, for
sweetie.
both of my 500s, I'm gonna go ahead and hand Senna my 1,000, and let them figure out the rest. Because that includes my Ring of Protection and my Greater Healing Potions.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
my 1,000.
Okay. So you go ahead and
600
give
I was planning on spending
him-
for
okay.
my things.
Well, then, is that all agreeable?
You know,
Are
maybe.
we done?
Yeah.
Very
I'm
well.
good.
Well, whoever would like to provide the total sum, that'll be 2,125 gold pieces. And it's been a pleasure.
I hand it over. I'll obviously make up the difference out of my gold.
Fantastic. She goes ahead and slides it over and slides over your items and says, it's only a 1 gold charge if you like all that gift wrap now.
Oh, that's not
No,
necessary.
thank you.
Unfortunate. Maybe next time when the holiday season doth strike you.
Sure.
Well, Linda's Emporium will always be here for your magical needs. Have a good day.
You too.
She just watches all of you.
As we're on our way out, Dash would look back to her. Would you know of anyone in town that could give us knowledge of the island of the Yanti before we venture out?
The island of the Yuan Ti is very dangerous, perilous, filled with a number of predator creatures who will kill you in the night. However, it is dominated mainly by the group of Yuan Ti on the northern half of the island, next to that large gold ship that you see, in which they take on more of a tribalistic civilization, often attuned to brutal sacrifices and rituals. So I'd say avoid that particular part of the island unless you're looking to convert to Yashtu. Other than that, it's a pretty plain island. Lots of spiders, large snakes, reptiles of all sorts, both of the current and prehistoric ages.
Dash will be vaguely right at home. Do you know anything of the mountains on the island?
The mountains of the islands are mainly dominated by what I believe is the Saurus tribes, the lizard folk of the larger reptilian type who seem to be at odds with the Yuan Ti civilization. Much like you, kobolds, and others who are larger, very brutal, but willing to do trade when it is necessary and can be negotiated with.
Well, that's
Does anyone
good.
sell maps of the area?
No.
Are there any specific tolls?
Well, seeing as I, nor I assume you, is willing to pay up your heart in sacrifice to a dark god of a snake people, I'd say avoid the tolls.
For example, back over near the desert, near the Tenu villages,
The who?
on the other side. Back in the desert on the other side of the
I'm
ocean.
unfamiliar with any
near
deserts
the
besides the
Tenu
one on the
villages?
mainland.
Okay. Well, there is a, for example, a gift of life that you must give the tribes, where you give them, for example, a camel, or that type of thing.
Well, that certainly
Like a
sounds
check.
like a pleasant relationship that you have over there with your desert tribes in wherever you come from. But we have no such thing here outside of the gift of food with the shark fangs.
I see. So that's the only toll on this side. All
That
the rest
in
is
particular is not a
just
toll on an
be
island, that's a
careful or you
toll
die.
on merchant shipping. When it comes to our mainland, wherever the fuck you are from, the only desert I know of is the one on the eastern side of the mountains, and that one is particularly fraught with dangers, and I highly suggest you don't go there.
I see. All right. Well, thank you.
Have a pleasant one.
Appreciate the information.
Watch out for the night scorpions.
Will do. All right,
Well,
put my ring on.
You put your ring on and
Change
suddenly
my
you have
ring.
+1 AC.
Yep.
amazing how that works.
Didn't even have to attune to it.
Putting my 2 greater healing potions away. Following the grid.
Okay. All right. Enough time has passed at this point where you can see, not too far from you, seeing as you're only maybe about 40 feet from the docks at this point, they've gotten your boat set up and ready to go towards the mainland.
Okay, let's get ready to go.
Okay. As you make your way back towards the sandy beach and the docks themselves, you're of course greeted by the wonderful smells of cooking meat and fresh rice, as well as the overbearing smells of rank brothels early in the morning. As you are brought over to the group of rowboats that have been essentially tied and nailed together to accommodate you and your pack animals. And you can see that they've set up sort of a large, well, large for the two boats, relatively small in comparison to other masts, but a mast, makeshift mast where you can tie on a sail to make your travel a bit faster. And it does tack about 45 degrees in total, so you can get tacking done if you need to.
Okay.
And other than that, they don't. The rowboats don't have any rudders, so you're solely left to the power of both wind and your arms.
Wind and arms.
Or Nash.
Okay, so there's no rowing.
That's what arms.
No, there is. That's arms rowing,
Okay,
Wind for the
I was like,
sails.
what?
For
and
the
then you
rowing.
have a single mast for
Sails
the
and
wind.
what? Okay. All right.
Do we have rope that I can repurpose as, hey, Nash, use this?
You all have rope, I do believe. You all should have hemp rope from your travel bags.
Yeah,
If you'd
we
like
do.
to set up a harness
We
with
have rope.
Nash, so that he can act as your main locomotion.
Right. It seems like a
Okay.
good enough start. So I think I'll set up Nash to help us get along.
Okay. Assuming someone will
Make
help
sure
him
we tie him
with
tight.
that, go ahead and make me a survival
I
check with
will.
advantage to try and get Nash nice and tied up.
22.
22. Good thing you had advantage. You go ahead and get a makeshift harness set up within, in between Nash's legs and some of the barding that he has on, using some of his large satchels that go along the sides of his barding, where you can use them as storage to sort of make him into a large, essentially tugboat. You get him hooked up to your rowing boat, and quickly after that you find yourself both using the oars, the wind, and Nash to make your way over to the main aisle. And this is where I'm going to ask, it's totally up to you, where would you like to try and go for your landing? You have the large bay, which has the massive golden ship with the brazier that you can land in. You can already see as you get closer and closer within the first hour of travel, these small pyramid-like temples beginning to dot the inland, not too far off into the bay, as well as several creatures moving about the sands of the beaches near that ship. And other than that, it's just open beaches for miles on either side.
Which landing point, objectively from our point of view, is probably the closest to the mountains? But that was about the same.
The closest to the mountains would actually be in the bay, because there is, it's on the northern tip of the mainland, and the spine of the mountains goes along north to south. So there's a portion of mountains that you can easily get into from the large Yuan-Ti village that is taking up the western part of the shore.
Well, it's close to the mountains, but only it's close to the Yuan-Ti village, which is not going to be pleasant in any shape or form, I imagine.
Yeah, you can see that there's a rather large village that takes up the western part of the shore, and then next to that and sort of surrounding and taking up the rest of the crescent portion of the shore where this bay is, are a number of temples and other different buildings with purposes you're unaware of.
So the closer we get to the mainland, how does he feel as far as
Straight on.
where we should be exactly going? Straight towards the Yuan-Ti?
It's pointing essentially
Straight towards
towards
the
that
village?
village and straight towards the mountains. Both things are lined up right now.
Oh my. We're rowing. It's wherever Desh is actually pointing us towards. That's where we're going. So
Okay.
that question really is for Dash.
Well, as you get
Where
closer
are
and
we
closer to the
going?
isle, and the Yuan-Ti civilization gets more and more into view, and you have much of the island to choose from for an initial landing spot, that's where we're going to leave it, as you guys can go ahead and discuss over the week. If you want to land in the center of town and possibly battle your way up into the mountains, depending on where the beats take you, or if you want to land
Sweet
elsewhere
Jesus.
and figure out exactly where you have to go. So thank you all so much for coming out. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you guys next time for the Black Waves. See you next week, where the party just might start a bloodbath rage through Yuan-Ti village.
Don't hold your breath. Yeah, bye.